In today's video, we're going to learn how to consolidate data from multiple Excel sheets into one Excel sheet with just one click. So let's go ahead with the actual video, and I'm going to start writing the macro right now. Before we go ahead, I just want to declare a few assumptions. One is that I'm assuming you know where the file is located, from where you're going to extract the data. For example, it's a C and in the test folder. And second thing I'm assuming is that you already know how many files are present in this particular folder, your source folder, and the name of these files, so that you can open the file. Basically, you can write a macro to open the files. Speaking of opening a macro, the code, or rather the script to open a file in a VBA is workbook dot open, followed by file name colon is equal to the entire part, that is C colon test / and the name of the file, followed by the extension. And if I run this now, it should open A. So as you can see, okay, there's already some data present here. Let me just delete this. So as you can see, this is the code to actually open the file. And what I want to do right now is I want to write a for loop to actually open these multiple files A, B, C, D, and E in a particular loop, so that I can actually do the actions. Because if you think about it, if you would want to achieve the goal, which is extracting the data, you need to actually open the file, do a particular action, which is copying the data and then pasting the data into the main file, and then keep repeating that for the number of files which are present. So basically you can actually put this in a loop. So I'm going to declare a variable which is going to be string name as string, and to that variable I'm going to give the name, I'm going to give the path actually is equal to, and I'm going to give the path as C colon test / okay. Now I want, like I said, I'm going to run a for loop to open this multiple tabs. So what I can think of is I'll create a set of values here, and these values are going to be nothing but the names of all the sheets which are present. So it's A to E, okay. And for me to run a for loop, I will definitely need an integer, which is going to be dim I as int, and that is going to be the starting point, because as if you remember, for loop will always run from some value till some value. So I've got my starting value, which is going to run from the top, but this I don't want to limit till E. Tomorrow if I add say 10 more files, I don't want to go ahead and make the change in my code. I basically want to add these new values here so that the code can pick it up from here. So I want it to be dynamic, so I don't want to keep changing my code. So I'm going to give another value, which is going to be dim lrow as integer. And what lrow basically is, it's actually going to tell me what is the last row in this particular sheet. So right now if I switch to say worksheets comma sheet 2, I need to put this in quotes, dot activate. It's going to go to sheet 2, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually tell it to find out what is the last row. And this formula is very, very famous, and you can get it everywhere on the internet. So I'm just going to type it out. I also don't know it by heart, and there's no shame in admitting that you need help. Sometimes you have to take it, and that's how you grow. So this is the formula, which is going to be active sheet dot range column A and row dot count. So it's counting the row till the end, and we should be getting the actual value of L row. So if I run this right now, L row is 6, and it's just checking it's 6. Perfect. Next is I actually will run a loop, right? So I'm going to say for I is equal to 2, because I know that A is in the value 2, or rather in the row 2. Row 2 L row, and I'm going to say workbooks dot open file name colon is equal to, and as you know, we have the string name as the path, and I want to make sure that I take and the next thing is going to be the name of the file. So the name of the file is going to be A, which is going to be the cell value cells 2 I'm sorry, not 2, it's going to be I comma 1. I is going to be having the value 2 because I've given the value here, and value, this is not doing nothing but giving that particular value, which is the value of this particular field, that is A, to this particular script. And last thing is the extension. So if I understand this correctly, I have given string name the path to string name variable. I have switched to sheet 2, and I have gone ahead and determined what the last row is, and from till that last row I'm running a particular loop which is going ahead and opening the file name, which is having the string name, which is C colon /test / and followed by the name of the file, which is having the value present in cells I, that is 2 comma 1. 2 comma 1 is A dot XLS. So basically it is actually opening the workbook A. Once it opens the workbook A, I'm going to select the values from so let me just actually go ahead and run this thing for demonstration purpose. So let's see if we are having, okay, next I, okay, so now if I run this, there we have it. So now I've gone ahead and opened A. Now I want to make sure I select this, but to select this we actually would want to know which is the last row here, and we already know the last row is, this is the value. But I'm also assuming you don't know how many columns are present in this. Typically, if it's something which you have created for your team or anything like that, you already would know how many last columns are present, but I'm just assuming. So last column is nothing but last column, again, this is a famous formula. So cells 1 comma columns dot count and XL to left dot Okay, so let me just run this again. Now I'll close this and I'll come here. So if I run this, okay, last row is 5, last column is 5. So it's gone ahead and taken the values. Now I basically have to select this particular, so I'm going to say range, and I'm going to say cells 2, 1. So it's starting from 2, 1, second row, first column, comma, cells L row, comma, L column, close, dot, copy. So let me just try this again, and I'm just making sure that this is running fine. So I've copied this, and if I go ahead and it's getting copied, so I'll close this again. So it's copying the values correctly, and I'm going to say active workbook dot close. Now one thing I just want to make sure is that when it's pasting, now I've copied the values from A, right? Now I'm going ahead and pasting it into my main file. That's what I want. At that point of time, I need to make sure that I determine which is the last empty row. I don't want to paste it, I don't want it to be overwritten or anything like that. So I need to make sure I get to know which is the last empty row, and to do that I have another formula, which is dim. I'm going to define e row as integer, and once I close my active workbook, which was my workbook A, I need to switch back to sheet 1, right? Because I need to paste the values there. So I'll go ahead and do that. Next is I'm going to find out which is my last active row. So active sheet dot cells rows count, comma 1 dot end xl up dot offset. And why offset is basically I want to move one row below the last empty row. So basically the last empty row will actually check which is the last row which has value and then move one row below. That's why we have an offset. So let me check this again. So this E row basically should give us a value 2. So let's see if this is running fine. It's giving value 2. Perfect. Now all I need to do is select my active sheet dot cells, and I'm going to select E row, that is 2 row, second row, comma 1. Okay, and I'm going to say active sheet dot paste, and next tile is already, it's going to the next tile. Now you might want to make sure that you have worksheets sheet to activate here. I'll tell you why. Because it's going to move to the next die, and if this is not present, it's going to actually not, it will not be able to find the next B because it's going to be here. So it's going to say something here and it's going to give some garbage value. So let's see if this is running fine. So let me just run this. And as you can see, it is going ahead and fetching the details from B, C, D, and E. It's not taking anything from A for some reason. So let me just delete this and run this again. And there we go. So as you can see, it is taking all the values as we wanted. Let me just summarize this. First of all, we went ahead and gave string name, the path string name, to this variable string name. Next thing is we determine what is the last row in our sheet 2, since sheet 2 has all the names of the files which are present, and I made sure that we run a loop so that all the files can be opened not simultaneously after in a particular loop. Went ahead and we determined the last row and the last column in the source file. We went ahead and copied that, and we went ahead and determined which is the last row in our worksheet 1, in the sheet 1 in our main tab, and we went ahead and pasted it there. So this is the video or rather the macro to actually go ahead and consolidate all your values from different files into one particular file in one click. And I hope you guys like this video. If you have any questions or comments, then let me know and I will try to help you guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me know in the comment section what you want to see in the next video. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.